Hello and welcome to FPL Weekly. And it's been a week since the game launched, and we've been. I've been tinkering around quite a bit already, and there's still a lot of.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
have you been?
Yeah. Been doing the same. But and giving some people some shells on Twitter, and enjoying myself there. I kind of like do it when I have a quiet spell in work. Not that work know that I'm on the phone.
On your lunch break.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Exactly that. So I mean, we are FPL Weekly, and we endeavour to try and get content out weekly. We were talking about it. Me and Johnny were talking about kind of like there was a big hoo-ha about the game coming out, and then it's like, well, actually, and I don't know about you. Obviously, I've been watching some content that's been created by people, and because we are all engaged, those teams tend to be quite similar.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from one person, and it's the person who won FPL last year. And his team was rogue. He had Trent on the bench.
One premium. Trent and Ake on the bench. One premium.
Yeah, just crazy.
Though as well, which is a bit odd. We'll come to your team, and you probably have him because you've gone 3 premiums, but you kind of have to. But if you're only going 1 premium, then why would you have Enciso if you've got a 1 premium team? Madness.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're a Brighton fan, and you made a good point the other day that Enciso you feel is just not a lock in Brighton's first 11.
Not held. He reeks of a wait and see. I'm not saying he's a terrible option, but I think people get drawn into narratives. So, the narrative is that he's going to be playing in Alexis McAllister's role. I just don't see that happening. I mean, where has that come from? That's not really his position. I've never seen him play there. So we've got Lallana that can play there. I know he's getting old, but I still think Lallana's first choice there. We like having him on the pitch, and the position he plays, he doesn't need to be overly mobile. He can just sit and just play the assist ball.
And Milner's got to have a role as well. Like he wouldn't have gone to Brighton without being assured that he's going to play 20 Premier League games. I wouldn't have thought anyway.
I think he's quite keen on this Dahoud that we've signed as well. I think Gilmore's going to get more minutes. Where do you fit? Ferguson has to play, in my opinion. João Pedro is our record signing. He's going to play a lot. Matoma, March. Where did he go? So I
mean, obviously, you are now coming into a season where Europe is a big thing. He could actually play a lot in Europe.
He could be our Europe player. Yeah, exactly. So, he's a wait and see. And who's to say? I believe we're looking for a player in that position as well. We were looking at this Kudus from Ajax, who apparently is a really good player, but they wanted 40 million. So we've gone a bit like, ooh, we wanted him, but we don't want to pay that money. So he's an attacking mid. He's a mid that pushes up and makes the change. So, and again, we're not going to pay that money for him, and then playing Ciso. So, long story short, for me, he's a wait and see. My gut is he's a impact sub.
Okay.
Though I know differently. Look, if he starts the first 4 games instantly, he's always an option. I just can't see it happening.
I think that obviously for a lot of other content creators, watching out for pre-season is going to be massive. And I think for him and Brighton in general, the format that we're going to go through this video is we're actually going to go through positions, goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders and attackers. So I think that does bring us quite nicely onto goalkeepers, where we both have got Jason Steele in net. And you were just saying before, you can't believe how low owned he is. At 4.5, you've got a piece of the Brighton defence. The fixtures are really good. And his ownership is what at the moment?
Did you say 6%?
Something like 6%. And I am staggered. Like, people are obsessed with finding out whether the Brentford goalkeeper Flecken, who at 4.5 is going to play, Brentford finished lower than Brighton. So I'm getting a Brighton goalkeeper for better value if Jason Steele's going to play. So
he's 6.2% owned, right? This is nothing against Everton, by the way. I've got nothing against Everton.
Oh, don't.
Pickford is 16.2% owned. He's 3 times more owned. If you can look me in the face and tell me that Everton have got a better defence than Brighton, I'll tell you you're a liar.
And their run as well isn't as good.
Yes. I don't get it. So I think
no.
the light narrative that still isn't nailed, and I'm not going to sit here and say he's definitely nailed, but I would say 90%, I go as far to say. Because yes, we've signed this young lad from Anderlecht, 20 million euros. Yes, it's a lot of money. He's 19 or 20. Are we going to throw in a 19 or 20-year-old straight into the Premier League? Bang, and in you go, mate. When we've got a pretty steady keeper as it is.
Especially as a keeper, like your 19, 20 for a keeper is like 16 for a winger. Like really it would be rare for a 19-year-old to be playing. I think the last one was the Leeds goalkeeper. It was really young. I think he was 20 when he was playing last year in the Premier League. So,
and I would go as far to say if we keep Sanchez, and I don't think we will because there's a bit of a fallout there. But if Sanchez doesn't get his move, then I would say we're probably going to send Verbruggen out on loan somewhere. Yeah. Because we can't have 3. What's the point of having 3 keepers like that? Yeah, Sanchez is not really a loan player. I think we'd probably loan out Verbruggen and keep Sanchez as a backup. So, but anyway, yeah.
And there's a lot of discussion within the community regarding Areola, and we've both got him as a 4 million.
He seems like the backup, doesn't he?
He does, and you could get lucky there. It could be an award situation, but equally, there seems like there's a lot of goalkeeper moves ready to happen. Obviously, Man United have not continued with De Gea, so they're currently, they could go into the season with Henderson at 4.5, which I would be all over that.
I know it's not done and dusted. I know it's big, but they're holding out firm for their valuation. Firm, apparently. The United are like, that's a lot of money for a goalkeeper. So I think it will go through.
And Dean Henderson's got to be sat there thinking to himself, I'm on 150 grand a week. Why do they want to replace the goalkeeper so bad? Like, what do I do? So, and I don't think, look, I'm actually a Dean Henderson fan, really. I think he deserves a little bit of a chance, whether it's at Man United or whether it's at a club maybe like an Everton, standard really. But ultimately,
he did well at Forest. It was a weird one. They did well at Forest, and then he got injured, didn't he? And then they brought in Navas, and that was so a bit odd. Yeah. But yeah, he seemed like he was going to do really well at Forest. Got injured, went back to United. He came out and said a lot of comments how disgraced he was at Man United and stuff like that. So he's a weird one, but he's definitely one to keep an eye on. He would be good for someone for sure.
Definitely. So moving on to defenders.
I'm going to steal a Flecken, by the way, just to end on that. I don't want to spend more than 4.5 on a keeper. So
no, I can't. News to people listening, I can't afford to because I've got 3 premiums. So if I don't go 3 premiums, I'll be dropping down Salah to go to, or dropping down Kane to go to Trent. So it's man. I mean that again. I'm making segues all over the place, mate. Defenders. Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's got a new haircut.
Great. He's got to come in then, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I am Trent Alexander-Arnold's biggest fan. Okay, massive Trent Alexander-Arnold fan. 8 million is putting me off. 8 million is they've priced him. I'm not going to say well. I actually think that they've priced him over. I think they were petrified of his midfield position.
Number 10, etc. They basically
the 0.5 shat the pants.
Pretty much. Let's just be safe. It's Trent. His roof is so high. Because if they went 7, then he's 80% owned, isn't he?
7's a cheat code, and I think 7.5 is fair.
Would have been, yeah, but 7.5 it would have been. I mean, 7.5 it would have been what 50-60% owned probably. What is he at 8 million? He is 33.8% owned at 8 million. So he would have been 50% owned at least at 7.5.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because Trent in Twitter, right, in the non-FPL community, is like, he's almost a meme. How bad his defending is, but like the FPL community just love him, and I'm all for it, by the way. But yeah. So neither of us have got Trent. We are pretty cheap at the back. Neither of us have got a Chelsea defender. I think that's an interesting thing. Not yet. A couple of. Where do you sit on planned transfers as well? Are you starting to think about those already, or?
I don't love doing it. I don't love doing it.
But you spent the last last quarter of the season, last third of the season, and everything was planned.
Yeah, I know, but I think that's because we had a rough idea what was going on in terms of Brian had triple fixtures, these teams had double fixtures, these other team only had one fixture. We had a bit more information.
We've got loads of information now, pal.
Yeah, but we don't really, because we don't know who's going to start for Chelsea, and we don't know if Trent's going to play in midfield, and we don't know if Zinchenko's as nailed as we thought, and like, do you know what I mean? There's question marks.
Okay.
So, I mean, I had, by the way, just really quickly on defence, I had Reece James in my first draft, as we talked about in the previous pod, but I haven't got him now. I just think he's a risk. That's the bottom line. He's a risk. He goes one of two ways. He takes off and he looks amazing, or he does nothing. He gets injured. Mm-hmm. So I can't see. He's one or the other. And I just think at 5.5, that's a bit of a risk. You want something a bit more guaranteed at 5.5. Yes, you could go Chilwell, but I think the 5 options are just too good to ignore.
Yeah, that's so. As I mentioned, I've gone 3 premium. So my defence currently, the most expensive one is Zinchenko, and then there is I've got Purvis at 5, and
I think, by the way, I've got those 2. I think they're the best 2 5 options. City have loads of 5 options, but we don't know which one's the best one. Porro is extremely attacking, but 1, he may not be nailed. 2, there's a rumour of them playing 4 at the back. Mm-hmm. So he's probably a bit of a wait and see. His XGI numbers are phenomenal, but again, it was quite a short sample at the end of last season. So he's a wait and see. He could be, by the way, again, talk about roof all the time. His roof is very high.
Porro.
Yeah.
By the way, I just wanted to make a slight point. I absolutely love Ange.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm all over him. I watched one press conference, and he is an absolute chap.
He seems like a bit of a boy, yeah.
Yeah, absolute boy.
Laid back.
So, yeah, Henry is an interesting one. I've seen a lot of people talking about Pinnock.
Yeah, but it's Henry for me. You'd go a fullback at the same price, wouldn't you?
Pinnock's he scored for me last year.
But I think he just overperformed. Right place, right time.
Okay, interesting. And then we've both gone really cheap. So there's a couple of really good videos that I endeavour a lot of people to go and watch regarding the £4 million defenders.
The defender one was really good.
I think it was the Fantasy Football Scout. Yeah, really good. Mainly because we know lots about Purvis, we know lots about Rico Henry, we know lots about Phil Foden and Mo Salah, whereas I didn't even know that Amari Bell existed. And so therefore gaining some information from that I think is a really good thing. So I've got Bell and I've got Bulldog in mine. To be perfectly honest, I think Bulldog is more nailed than Bell, except Bell's ownership is like 25%. So
again,
I'm actually
it was part of the reason he's that much owned is because he was in the pre-release prices. So he came in as the pre-release, came in at 4 million, and everyone's like, wow, he's the best 4 million option. But they didn't see all the other price releases. So I think that was part of the factor. By all accounts, from everything I've been listening to, he's about 80 to 90% nailed.
And to be perfectly honest, that's too much of a risk for me. Yeah. That's a risk. And I don't, because for people who don't know, and if you are watching this, you'll know because you're a grade A virgin like us two, that going in with a really high owned player who potentially may not play, their price will go down. And then when you want to come off them when you want to come off those players at this, in your first wild card because they're not playing, then you're going to lose team value. So therefore, you will only have, say, 99.8 to spend, which is an absolute nightmare. So, going in with
and that 0.1, by the way, early on is basically a 0.5.
Yeah, because exactly. Well, great point. So Bulldog for me is, and even if I look through the fixtures and Bell isn't going to play at all because like for the first 5 games, then I won't be going in with Luton defender. I'll be going in with another defender who's much less owned, who's not going to go down in price.
Yeah,
so
I agree. I had, but part of that reason he's highly owned, and that scares me a bit. But partly, I've done a bit of fixture planning, and I've looked at the first 4 or 5 weeks of my squads, and there was a couple of weeks where I was very thin in defence. A good example, right? Just really quickly, game week 3, I think it is. Let me just quickly check this. Is it game week 4? Game week 4. So I was gonna have Newcastle had Liverpool. Newcastle got Liverpool, and where is it? Arsenal. So Arsenal have got Man U. So there's Zinchenko tied up a bit. Brighton have got Newcastle. Not great. Newcastle have got Brighton. Not great. And Sheffield United's good in that. So Luton have a tough one as well. Sheffield United's fine. But anyway, Burnley just worked better for me because otherwise I was adding another problem. So it just worked better for me in that week because they had an easier fixture basically.
Yeah.
So I think you got to plan it and go right. You'll hear a lot if you watch a lot of videos about dovetailing and players that partner well. So Botman and Henry is quite a good partnership. When Botman has tough games, Henry has good games. So that's part of the reason why I've done that. Like I say, when some players have tough games, then yeah. So Luton. The reason I didn't go for Bell, Luton had Chelsea away, which is no good, and the other cheapy Bulldogs got Man City. So they're 2 deads, and then Botman's got Liverpool. So out of those 3, they're horrific. So I went Burnley because Burnley at home against Aston Villa. So then my 3 defenders are good. So it's not purely and simply about the player, and not even purely and simply about the fixtures. It's when the fixtures happen. There's no point having one good defender one week and then all 5 really good week because you're going to have to bench 2 anyway. The Burnley defenders worked a bit better for me. I'm not anti-Amari Bell, but the Burnley defender worked better for me in terms of my dovetailing cheap defence.
And to be perfectly honest, I've not quite got that far with my planning yet. So, but I'm aware of stuff, and I will be getting deeply stuck into it. I mean, the thing is I don't feel like I need to do that planning at the moment, just because I think that I'm going to know so much more once a couple of pre-season games happen. A couple of pre-season games happen, and Reece James is playing every minute.
Change everything.
Yeah.
Let's say he's playing Sterling in a very forward role, and Sterling scored in every pre-season game. He's 7 million.
Yeah.
We could in a few weeks' time look at some of those Chelsea players' prices and laugh. The Nkunku could take off. And
and then my 3 premium is out the door.
Yeah, and you look at Reece James, attacking position, looks like he's going to score, looks like he's going to assist, and we go 5.5. So
could be win backs.
Chelsea's such an interesting one. It's such an interesting one because all of their player prices have gone down after last season, and rightly so because they were rubbish. But my God, if they start playing well, they could look like extreme value. So again, what the biggest, apart from Brighton, the biggest eye on a team I have in pre-season is probably Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean,
Because they've got a good fixture run as well, mate. Their fixture run is
the best. I think they've let the best run.
It's right up there. So yes, the first game you can leave. It's Liverpool at home. Not great, but they're at home. But it's not great. After that, it's frighteningly good. After one game, West Ham away is okay. Luton at home, that could be carnage. They could score a few there. Again, we're assuming they're going to be better than last year. Then it's Nottingham Forest at home. So back-to-back easy home games. Bournemouth away.
Do you know what's really interesting as well?
Villa
when Poch was at Spurs, I don't know whether it was situation he was in, but he used minimal players.
Yeah.
He used 20 players. That's really good. That's really good from an FPL. From an FPL point of view, that's really good. So,
as I said in the previous pod, one of those 4.5 defenders for Chelsea is going to be a great option. We just don't know who it is yet. It could be Colwill, it could be Chalobah, it could be Badiashile, or it could be Fofana.
Mm-hmm.
One of them will be nailed and will stand out and will go Chelsea defender for 4.5. Yes, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfect. So midfielders. This is obviously where the fruit is, and to be perfectly honest, what I love about this in midfielders is where we're going to see the biggest variations on FPL, and where the prices are really where people's strategies are going to kick in. Now we have got 5 playing midfielders.
Yes, I have quite a strong opinion about this as well. I think midfielders are so likeable this year. It is scary. Yeah. I have 5 and I want 10. And do you know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, my 2 bits of advice here: have 5, and my other bit of advice is just my personal advice. I think your cheapest midfielder should be 6.5 million. 1, don't have a blank midfielder. That's a waste. 2, I don't want an Enciso in there. I don't want a Declan Rice in there. Have your worst midfielder as a 6.5.
Okay.
That's just me.
Should I go and change my team now? Or... No.
But yours is tough. Yours is tough because you've gone freemium. But not many people, and like I said, I'm not saying you're wrong, but not many people have.
No.
And for the ones that haven't gone freemium, stack your midfield.
Yeah, so I think we are seeing some very stacked midfields out there. My one player...
They're all too cheap.
Yeah, my one player at the moment is Enzo, and trust me, I'll be the most surprised person in FPL if I go into the season with him. He's a placeholder at the moment at 5 million. I know that he plays every minute of Chelsea's games, regardless of fixtures. Yes, he'll be playing deep, and
that's the sacrifice you're making for having 3 premiums. So that's the risk you're willing to take.
Yeah, I've got Salah, so therefore I have to then, I could upgrade Enzo to a Grealish, instead of, if I drop from Salah to Rashford, for example. So, look, I'm really happy with Salah. I don't get why people aren't. He's gone down in value and had a really poor but good season. And Bumo is a person that we're super sweet on. Both of us are super sweet on. However, do we want Mbumo for 6.5 when we could get Wisa for 6, who's going to play up top, who could take a striker spot, I know it's more points for a goal from midfield. Do you get where I'm coming from?
100%. He's a bit of he could be a hidden gem, Wisa. I
must admit, before the game got released, Wisa was not someone that I was super, and this is where I've been. This is terrible because I think I have been swayed by content creators with Wisa, and I'm starting to think, am I making the wrong choice?
This is where knowledge is power, right? So I completely understand what you're saying. I can tell now that you've been listening to some videos as well after what you've just said, because I have as well, and they've brought the Abubo thing up. So I'm still sweet on him. I was 100% sweet on him. Now I'm 90% sweet on him.
Yeah.
The reason he's down as a midfielder this year is because he mostly plays in midfield. That's why he's gone from a striker to a midfielder for a reason, because he was playing as a winger. Now, even when Tony wasn't in the team, he was mostly playing as a winger. But again, it's about narratives. The narrative was that when Tony was out the team and Boomer performed well, yes, he did, but he was performing well from wide. I'm not saying he's a bad option, because he does take penalties. It does look like he's going to take penalties, but Wissa will most likely be the striker. Not 100%. He might go both up top, and Boomer is capable of playing up front. But people have got to understand that when Tony was banned at the end of last season, and Boomer was playing wide, hence why he's down as a midfielder this year. So still a great option, still in my team. I'm 90% sure he will be in my team, but I'm not. You know how sweet we were last pod.
What about doubling up?
You could double up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. So I feel like I'm broken record with my team setup with 3 premiums with Kane, Haaland, and Salah. I am skint. So therefore, having that other striker at 6 million, I would have to make some serious sacrifices somewhere else that I don't really know.
I think you probably would have to go for the 6 million striker, and I think it's Wissa or Calvert-Lewin. Right?
Or Ferguson, or
risk, but yeah.
Yeah, like I think the 6 million, the 6 million striker is a really good, and to be perfectly honest, I have been looking at my team with the 3 premiums. The thing that really worries me is when I need to move off a player. If I want to move to a 6 million striker because they're starting to, I'm going to have to sacrifice not Haaland but Kane, or it's going to have to be two subs. So yeah. The last point, dead quick, that I just wanted to make. Phil Foden, he's in my team. He's a little bit of a weight pre-season. Jack Grealish is currently still pissed in fucking Ibiza. So and by the way, I have got zero problem with this. He's currently off work. What he does off work is for him to do. The fact that people take pictures of him and they don't take pictures of me, that, you know, what I do in off work time is up to me, what I do. And as long as he turns up Monday morning, ready to go, ready to be prepared, and it's pre-season, the pictures of Jadon Sancho where he looks like he's put on a bit of weight, that I'm not saying it's fine, and James Milner wouldn't do it, but like, give the kid a break. You know, he's 22.
They're all over him like a rash, aren't they, the media?
Yeah, he's 21, 22 years of age.
There's loads of others that'll be out there that won't get any press.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So a little bit off topic from FPL, but like So Phil Foden, I think 7.5 is a steal if he's playing every week.
What he's capable of is so exciting.
Yeah, and I want a piece of City mid, which because KDB is going to miss the start of the season, and there's a lot of, you know, Gundogan's gone, Bernardo Silva looks like he's gone, Riyad Mahrez could be gone, so yeah, I'm all over that.
Talk about Foden. My biggest dilemma at the moment, which I can't decide on, I'm pretty happy with 2 premiums. But my biggest dilemma is which one. Obviously, it's Haaland. The other one is Salah or Kane. I think they're really, really close this year. So for me, it has to be Salah and Jesus, or it's Foden and Kane, and that is disgustingly close at the moment. Disgustingly close.
I mean, I do have an Arsenal attack, but it's Balogun, and we'll come on to that in a short while. But the only other Arsenal player I've got is Zinchenko, and it worries me the amount of people who do very well on FPL who've got one of the, you know, they've got Saka, they've got Martinelli, they've got Odegaard, or they have Jesus. I've not got one of them, so I'm taking a big risk there, like big risk, and
Yeah,
I
the risk
understand
is
it.
I agree.
I understand it, but
Yeah,
equally,
look,
Salah could fly.
yeah,
Salah could
if
fly.
I start the season slowly and Salah and Kane fly, Salah's 25% owned and Kane's 17% owned.
Do you know what would be really good for me? If Kane got his transfer to
Where
Bayern Munich.
or PSG are linked this morning. Yeah.
Yeah. Not like in a horrible way. It just would help my decision making
Makes it
out
easier.
the middle.
It makes it easy for me.
Because I just go Jesus. I just go Jesus, and
Salah,
then I've got a piece of the Arsenal attack. And by the way, out of those three that I've just mentioned, I think Jesus is the worst one personally. I just can't believe that Arsenal are going to spend so much money on Havertz and not consider him as part of a first 11.
Yeah, I agree, but the rumours are he's going to play in the Xhaka role, which is crazy. That's everything I'm hearing is he's going to play the Xhaka role.
Yeah, well, whatever you're hearing, stop listening to them because
it's fake news.
It's fake news, pal. Fake news. He plays up top for Chelsea. He plays up top for Germany. Yeah. Next minute you'll be saying I'm starting up front for Liverpool. So strikers. Haaland, we aren't talking about.
No.
I actually think FPL Weekly are going to have a Haaland ban for the first 6 weeks.
Shall we just get it out of the way now and say, have him in your team, move on? We're not going to talk about him ever again.
No, never again. We're going to captain him for the first 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And so captain isn't a feature.
No.
I think there's 1 week where Salah plays.
Game week 2, Bournemouth.
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk about that for 5 minutes. Yeah, possible. Yeah. But to be perfectly honest, probably not.
Just have Haaland. If you don't, you're a lunatic and you're going to lose. So it's just true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look, he might have a bad game or a bad 2 games, but the third game he'll score a hat-trick. So just have him.
Yeah. And the next one we've touched on, obviously, is Kane, and we discussed it a little bit. He's in my team. I just think he's what a brilliant player, what a brilliant FPL asset, and he's so reliable.
I agree. Is 12.5 the right price? Is that a little bit expensive?
Yes. I'd be really interested to know the price, the price per million, if that makes any sense. Like, how many points does per million cost you? And the fact how many points was he behind Haaland?
Not many.
It's and he is 1.5 million.
He was 9 points behind Haaland. It's mad, isn't it?
There we go. Point proven.
263 points. That is insane.
There we go. Point proven. You are. So I don't think the people you're listening to is fake news. You are fake news.
Okay, I get it. He's brilliant. He's world class. I could go on all the night about how good I think he is.
So 1 second. 200 and what? 200.
How many points did he get? He got 263.
So 263. Salah got close. 230.
Salah was behind, but wasn't miles away. 239.
230, yeah. So there's 500, and then how many did Haaland get? So 7. I've already going into the season with 750 points.
Assuming they do the same what they did again. Okay, and the Kane point I want to make is this: did last season change your opinion of Harry Kane?
Yes.
He was already world class, mate. He's been banging goals in left, right, and centre every single season. For how long?
Can I tell you one thing that he's not really done before? Made it. This is going to sound stupid. He won games single-handedly on his own, playing with rubbish. He did what Steven Gerrard did for years. He turned around and looked at Jimmy Traore and said, "How am I going to win this game?" And did it. That's what Kane did last year. He did everything. He got assists. He got goals.
I know.
He won games. Without Kane last year, Richarlison got 0 goals.
Yeah.
0. So their other striker that they spent 60 million on, 0.
I know. I get it. I just think he was 11. Why was he 11 million the year before?
I don't know.
He was 1.5 million the year before. Nothing's changed. He was world class last year, and he still is. Was it a massive shock that he got 30 Premier League goals last year? No. So I just think Kane. This is the point I made to you the other day, and it's only a tiny point, but Kane was 11, now he's 12.5. Salah was 13, and he's gone down to 12.5. Kane's gone up 1.5. Salah's gone down 1.5, and they've had a pretty similar season. Kane got 260, Salah got 240. Why has one gone down 0.5 and one gone up 1.5? It's a bit of a hike for Kane. A bit of a hike. I was expecting 11.5 or 12. I can understand the hike, I know, but
wasn't he 11.5 last year?
I think he was 11.
No, I think he was 11.5.
How was he? Maybe I'm getting that wrong.
Yeah, it was 11.5, definitely, because he was the same price as Haaland.
Yes, because you had to do your transfer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
Okay. Got one. You got one. All right.
He's gone up 1. No. I'm on board. I'm on board with that. I'm really on board with that decision.
I'm interested to see what we predicted. One sec. I've actually got it here.
I think I predicted 12.
And I predicted 13. Jesus Christ. That goes exactly against what I've been saying. What am I doing there?
You're a lunatic.
You
are fake news. The king of fake news. Lunatic.
Not Alpha Loser.
Yeah, lunatic.
Okay. Yeah, I probably debunked my own theory there. But yeah, I think. Yeah, no, I predicted
this whole thing has been a waste of time.
That's true. Move on.
Yeah. He's in my team. I do not feel comfortable with starting that season without Salah, without Haaland, and without Kane. I think they are so far and above the best players in the league and the best FPL assets. We're scratching around with Fernandes, Rashford, brilliant, perhaps really good, but there's a good chance that they could be 50 points behind Salah.
Yeah, I agree. I find it fascinating that the template this year is one premium.
Oh, don't get me started.
Honestly, and you've seen a lot of videos. Most people's teams have one premium, and that's Haaland.
I mean, there is a slight point that I want to make. I think that Trent is a premium.
I know. Yeah.
Because he's so far and above everyone else's price in defence that you have to rejig your team by having him. So
I think it's half. I think it's a half. You wouldn't say an 8 million midfielder is a premium. I think it's a half.
Yeah. The other person that I cannot believe is Son. Like, why people are so on board with Son. I don't hate him.
He was top goal scorer the year before.
Yeah.
Can he? Okay, put it this way. He's gone down 3 million, right? Rashford went down 3 million. Can he do this season what Rashford did last season?
Yeah. Did you start the season with Rashford?
I think I did. Pretty sure I did. I'm pretty damn sure I did.
But what my point is you just definitely don't have to. And equally as well, Rashford went down to 6.5. Now taking a risk on a 6.5 is fine, but taking a risk on a 9 just seems lunacy. Like I'd rather have Rashford.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Bruno.
I understand that. I think the reason not everyone had Rashford at the start of the season, I think I did. The main reason I had Rashford is because he was good value.
Can I make another point here? Phil Foden is a risk, yeah, because of
Yeah,
minutes, yeah.
yeah.
Is he a risk that he's a bad player?
No, but he's a risk for minutes. Son isn't a risk for minutes.
Don't know. Don't know.
I would say keep an eye on him, because if you get the Son that you got 2 years ago, then he's good value.
Borderline.
He was top goal scorer in the league, mate. You can't tell me he's not good value at 9 million if he's the top goal scorer in the league. So we'll see.
Just seems a lot.
We'll see. It depends a bit on Kane. I really, really desperately want Kane to go, because then it makes my decision for me. I'm desperate. Really want him to go.
I get that.
It makes it way easier. The only
Do
thing
you know where
I'd
love him to go to United, because then I'm not worried.
would
Then
have
I'm
him.
not
Yeah.
because I'm not worried about. Then I'm not worried about owning Bruno. I'm not worried about not owning Rashford, because I've got a piece of them. I don't really care about Tottenham. I think Tottenham are poor. I mentioned that I like Ange, but the fact that Kane's got a Tottenham top on doesn't really affect too much for me, apart from fixtures. It's just.
It's more I agree. Even if he moves to a different team in England, it will be United probably. Then I agree, he's a better option. But it's more if he goes abroad, then obviously we're not going to pick him, but it would make things easier. But what I would say is then more teams would be the same, even more so, because people like you drop premium.
Mm-hmm. But I dropped premium and I possibly pick up Trent.
Yeah, you got Haaland, Salah, Trent. Yeah.
Yeah. So right. Anyway, and last one, I've got Balogun, and I think you have as well.
I've just gone some random cheap at the moment. I've got Archer, but that's whatever.
Yeah, and I think we're just waiting and seeing. A lot of talk that Balogun's going to go out on loan. The other thing to watch out for is a lot of these City assets are possibly going to go out on loan. So Tommy Doyle, Bellis Harwood, they're all bottom of the price people.
Yeah.
And if they go out on loan, they've only gone out on the basis that they're going to play. So I'm watching some stuff like that, watching some loan deals that will come through over the next couple of weeks, I imagine, as teams start to take up shape. And that's about it, Pam.
Yeah, quick couple of things just really quick before we end. Balogun, my only concern is, let's say people are having him in because they think if he gets his Premier League loan move, great, that's fine. If he gets his Premier League loan move, let's just use off the top of my head Bournemouth.
Yeah.
How highly owned is he going to be?
Yeah, very high.
85. So if he doesn't score, his price is going to go that way.
Yeah, but I'm happy to take that risk then.
Okay. No,
if he's starting every game, and he's up top and he's the cheapest attacker on the game, I've got him. No way. But if he's still at Arsenal game week 1, I've not got him because he's already his ownership is already.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It's 2.1%.
Yeah.
I mean, but those 2.1 are everyone who watches Andy's videos.
Who's waiting for him to get a move? Yeah, and if he does get a move, but honestly, I don't think it would be a Prem move. I think it would be a good Championship club move, or it will be a foreign move.
Did you not see where he was? He went to Nice last year and scored like.
Banged, yeah. But
he banged.
He could go to Nice again. He could go somewhere else. He could go to.
He's too good for the Championship. Do you know where he could go? Brentford.
Yeah, maybe.
Stays in London.
Yeah, then
stays in London. Yeah. Stays in London.
My point is, the better the option he is, the more higher owned he is, and then you risk the going down. But I understand what you're saying, in that it's probably worth the risk. Good. Couple of things. Biggest lock in your team, bar Haaland.
We don't mention his name. He's like Voldemort.
True.
Okay.
Bar him.
Do you know what? It's going to sound crap, really, but Purvis.
Yeah, I was nearly Purvis.
Yeah, I just can't see at 5 million with great fixtures. I can't see us. I cannot see me not going. I actually think he is way more of a lot than Matoma is, and I'm a big
Yeah,
Matoma fan.
yeah. My biggest lock is a player you're probably not going to have. And a player I really like, and I think it's going to take off, Saka.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't like him. I love that guy.
That's going to scare the shit out of you, though.
Not, no, because you're going into the season still scared that Martinelli could fly, that Odegaard could fly,
Yeah,
that
but you got none of
Jesus,
them.
and
You
I've
got
got
none of
none of
them.
it. Yes, I've got none of it. Oh, Jesus, yeah, brilliant. Well done, me. Well done, me. Well done, me. Game week 1, who does Liverpool have?
Chelsea,
Game week 2, who does Liverpool have?
Bournemouth. That's scary. Yeah.
What was it last time? 9-0?
Yeah, but I'm going to have Saka and Salah. So.
Okay, sorry. Kane?
Yeah, but then Kane. Yeah, we've gone over this, but Kane's fixtures are slightly less scary.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I just do want to throw it out there that Kane, out of my premium, Kane is the one who would go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all it is. That's all it is. I think it scares me a tiny bit more not having Salah than it scares me not having Kane. Slightly.
yeah.
And lastly, just quickly, biggest differential in your team. Mine is Steele, I think, is my lowest owned.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my lowest owned, but I'm going to say Phil Foden,
Yeah.
mainly because I am firm on the belief that
I love Foden.
someone that good cannot be content with winning the treble and sitting on the bench for a lot of it. I think he's going to go into the pre-season fired up. He's going to really want that place back, and I think Pep might just say to him, Phil, you can play in attacking midfield in this position for the start of the season while De Bruyne is injured. You've got 5 games. Show me what you can do.
And do you want to know Do you want to know their first 7 games really quickly?
I know them, pal.
Burnley away, Newcastle at home, Sheffield United away, Fulham at home, West Ham away, Nottingham Forest at home, Wolves away. The roof is at the Eiffel Tower. He could score a copious amount of points in those first 7 games if Pep does that.
And he could give Voldemort the ball every time.
Foden assist, Haaland goal. Foden assist, Haaland
Zimmer,
goal.
the man who won't be named. The man who should not be named.
True, sorry, I keep naming him. And he's 11% owned.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's a differential with Phil Foden.
That it is a tempter, and like I say, if I do go Salah Jesus, then the annoying thing is if then I have to go without Kane and Foden, and they both scare the life out of me.
Yeah, but I do understand why you've not gone Kane over Salah. I would have Kane over Salah big time.
Most people won't have, most people won't have 3, and therefore you have to decide. I mean, most people have 1, which again, I can't not have either. I just can't do it because not having Kane or Salah scares the life out of me. So again, I think the most sensible thing to do is pick 1. 1 has to miss out. I haven't made my call yet, by the way. I change my team all the time. I changed my team 5 minutes before we came on air.
Yeah. I'm being a little bit more kind of stable with mine, but yeah.
Like I said, just as we touched upon as well briefly earlier, it is just so pre-season dependent. Quickly, Kane could get his move, changes everything. Because then Son is an option because he plays more up front. If Zaha gets his move, Eze's a big option. If United don't sign a striker, Rashford's a striker, huge option. I'd probably have him over Bruno. If the City transfers happen, Foden is an unbelievable option. So there's so many things that can happen in pre-season or in the transfer activity that all of a sudden thrust a player that you go, I can't do without it now. So pre-season, watch it because it's going to give us so many clues. And the good thing is as well, there's so many YouTubers out there that are going to keep all the stats from pre-season, and they're going to put it up there and go, here's the amount of games they've played, here's the position they've played, here's their stats. and then that will just really make decisions for us in a way, I think.
Yeah.
Good.
Really good. Really good, really good. So yeah, the content's going to carry on coming out. We're going to try and do some feature stuff. We're also going to. I think what would be good is if we try and get different voices on. So we're going to try and get some of our friends on as well to go through teams. We try and get some people on, and some people who don't have a Scooby-Doo as well. I think that would be.
So we can just basically critique their team and go, you need to do this, you need to do this. Did you see the Andy with KSI one? That was quite funny.
Yeah, but he wasn't with KSI. He just basically adopted his. We could do a with KSI.
Yeah.
If we wanted to get a million hits, then we could get KSI.
Yeah.
And actually, pal, it sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, slide into DMs, yeah.
Yeah, slide into the DMs. Yeah, I'm trying to angle my way on to get onto some of these videos, like a starring appearance. And to be honest, pal, you were keen on me, not keen on you. So
I'm letting the team down, mate.
Yeah, if you were like, we'll have the sexy ginger one, just not
we'll have the one that finished in the top 50k.
Yeah, that'll be me, baby. That'll be me.
Ouch.
And on that bombshell, subscribe helps the algorithms. It just also gives us some level of confidence that enough people are watching it to make this whole thing worthwhile.
Exactly.
And not that we're looking to do anything with it. I mean, we'd be having this chat anyway. It's just that some people decide to watch. Yeah, that's all that we do. We hit record and we stick a theme tune on the start. And but I suppose it will be good. I haven't joined the league yet. I don't know whether you have.
No, either.
But we have a league, and join the league. Join the league.
Have a code.
Yeah. And
I have put the code out there.
And we have a prize.
We've got, holy moly, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 11.
11 people. 11 people
in the league.
And they're all after free golf lessons from you.
Oh, you I only know. I know three of them. Don't know any of the others.
So I don't know if anyone saw, but Johnny did not know about this, by the way. But it's an amazing giveaway. Like, subscribe, comment, do the works. Johnny Elliott, PGA professional. What are you? You're PGA professional. I saw it on your email the other day. You're like grade A.
Class A, PGA professional, BSc Holmes.
Yeah, BSc Holmes.
Free lessons for life.
Free lessons for life for the winner.
Did you specify golf lessons or FPL lessons?
You don't want FPL lessons off him. No way. It's free golf lessons for life. Follow him around the world, wherever he goes. How often, it doesn't really matter.
Have we stopped recording yet?
Absolutely not. And lastly, I mean, yeah.
I mean, what we were planning 25 minutes, I think, for this, weren't we, Jess? Was it 55?
Oh God, it's so late as well. Yeah, right, perfect. Everyone, go out and do it. It's for an amazing cause.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Much love. Bye.